Senators on the party's Defence and Foreign Affairs folks. And I regularly go into that place, the Parliament House, and you look them in the eye, you look Penny Wong in the eye, you look the Labor government in the eye, and you get some of the most obscene responses you can imagine. I still remember Penny Wong trying to explain, when I asked her about sending F-35 weapons parts to Israel, she said, no, we only send non-lethal fighter jet parts. It was an obscene misdirection and a gaslighting from the Foreign Minister. But I've got to tell you, we sometimes ask ourselves, why is the Australian government so complicit? Why have we not sanctioned the extremist Netanyahu government like we've sanctioned Putin and the Putin government? Why haven't we placed sanctions on not only every one of those warmongers in the Netanyahu government, but why haven't we sanctioned the Israeli weapons industry? How could we possibly still be buying Israeli weapons? And not just the $1 billion deal that the Albanese government signed in February 2024 for Elbit, but you know, just in the last month, the Albanese Labor government signed another multi-million-dollar deal with Elbit Systems to buy yet more Israeli weapons, and we know how they do that sales pitch. Elbit, Raphael, other Israeli weapons manufacturers. We know what their sales pitch is, and I know because I've been in the weapons fairs and seen them do it. Israeli weapons manufacturers go to global weapons fairs, and they've done it in Perth, and they'll be doing it next week in Sydney, subsidised by Labor government, state and federal. They go to these weapons fairs and they show videos of their weapons being used in the West Bank, killing Palestinians in the West Bank. They show videos of their weapons and their weapon systems being deployed in Lebanon and killing Lebanese people in the south of Lebanon. They show their missiles striking Yemeni targets, civilian targets, and they show these openly in these weapons fairs. And then they look at the Australian government, they look at the defence officials and people like Penny Wong and Anthony Albanese and the Defence Minister Miles. They look them in the eye and they say, look, our weapons work. They're battle tested. We've experimented on the people of Lebanon and the people of Palestine. They work and you should buy them. And to the ultimate shame of the Albanese Labor government, they do buy those weapon systems. Everyone blames it. So our goal is to end all two-way arms trade with Israel, to buy none of their weapons and send no weapons there, and be no part of these global supply chains. No part of it at all. And of course, just a fortnight ago, Penny Wong also said in the Senate, when she was being challenged about ripping down our environment laws so that the United States could get access to our critical minerals to feed their weapons industry and their tech bros. She was challenged on that in the Senate, and she said that there's a rule apparently in Australian politics, according to Labor, there's a rule that we don't bring the United States alliance into domestic politics. And she also said that the United States alliance is more important to the Labor Party than any little environmental issue like clean water, forests or climate. She said it in an open session inside the Senate that the United States alliance is more important to Labor and the coalition than our environment laws or our standing or our conscience. Well, I say that makes our goal pretty clear. We need to end the US alliance. We need to cancel AUKUS. We need to shut every single US base on this country and not be part of a global war machine. Because if you want to know why we've been so complicit in this conflict on Palestine, it's because the Albanese Labor government does what Washington says. And it doesn't matter whether it's Biden or Harris or whatever that bloke in there at the moment currently is. Labor meekly bends its knee and follows Washington. And they are the problem. So if you want to see that in practice too, just north of Sydney at a place called Williamstown in Newcastle, Australia has agreed to host what's called an F-35 hub, a regional hub for the United States for the F-35 fighter jet. And we have discovered through some really incredible journalistic work from Declassified Australia, we have discovered that over the last 2 years, more than 70 weapons parts have been flown directly from Williamtown to Israel, to the Nevatim Air Base in Israel, to be fed into the Israeli F-35s so that they can keep flying and bombing and killing and murdering, kept in the air by parts flown directly from Australia to Israel. And when we confront the likes of Penny Wong with that, and Anthony Albanese, they say, oh no, we're not sending weapons parts to Israel, we're not doing that. They say, and they literally, their defence now is not that it's not happening, because they concede it's happening. They now say that was never a decision of the Australian government, because that regional hub on Australian soil is owned and controlled by the United States government. And the decisions to send weapons parts from Australia to Israel are being made by the United States government and US weapons manufacturer Lockheed Martin, and the Australian government says it's none of our business that we're being used to send weapons into Israel. What a shameful surrender of our sovereignty. What a shameful surrender for any Australian government to say that we run a weapons hub in Australia, but we're not responsible for it because it's controlled by Donald Trump and Lockheed Martin. Well, I say there's a simple answer to that. Let's close that F-35 weapons hub. Let's stop being part of that. Because until we end our complicity and our vassal state status with the United States, we will never have a government here that can stand up for human rights, that can stop being a part of a genocide, and that I think is urgent. A free Palestine starts with cancelling AUKUS and getting to Australia to be a genuinely independent country, with an independent defence and foreign policy that stands on principle of peace.